So you've decided it's time to make a move and you're selling the very first home that you ever bought. Congratulations, that's very exciting. Here are some things that you can expect when you are selling your first home. There may be last minute showings, there may be last minute cancellations. It's hard when I'm scheduling appointments for a buyer, if we're looking at 3 or 4 properties, it's hard to say exactly how long a buyer is going to stay at each home. And so I can make an estimation, but I have to tell you a short little story about these clients. I was helping my really good friends search for a house, and they are the type of people that they're just kind of process people. And so I remember showing them this home up in Altadena, and they had brought their teenage son with them. And as we walked up to the front of the house, and they just said, Kathy, we're not going to buy this house. We don't really think that it's a fit for us. And even though he said that, they still toured the whole house. We come outside, there's a basketball hoop and a basketball sitting there, and so he's shooting hoops with his son. And I'm like, okay, time to go. So anyway, sometimes that happens. And so it's difficult to say, exactly when a buyer's gonna show up. Closing costs can add up. Get a really good estimate from your agent on what those costs will be so that you're fully prepared. Okay, once you have an offer, the buyer's going to do inspections. And here's what happens when buyers do inspections. They're always going to discover things that they didn't know the day they made the offer. And when they discover things, they're going to ask you to participate, either by making a price concession, by making repairs. So if you're prepared for that ahead of time, then it's going to be easier to negotiate. And here's another thing to expect. A closing date, while most of my escrows close on time, it's really a target date. So there are a lot of moving pieces when it comes to getting an escrow closed. The buyer's financing. There are a lot of things that have to happen in order for those loan docs to be drawn, for the lender to fund the loan, and for escrow to close. If you realize that ahead of time, then it's not going to be a huge shock. But typically, if an escrow is going to be late in closing, it's because of problems with the loan, or maybe not even problems, just volume of loans the lender is processing, and it just is going to take a little bit more time. That happens sometimes, unfortunately. Okay, so those are my tips for how to be prepared when you're selling your first home. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe.